Hey guys, today we are making my recipe for a classic, quick and easy Irish soda bread. This is not the sweetened bread with raisins that we in America typically find around St. Patrick's Day, although I will have that recipe included in the link below, but it's a staple, crusty table bread that is extremely cheap to make at a measly $1.20 per bread. It is filling, hearty, and fast to make. You can have this warm and ready on the table in 1 hour from start to finish, and it pairs beautifully with whatever you're making, so let's go get started. Alright, so I have a 9-inch cake pan here, and I am taking some butter and I'm going to grease the pan with it. And then I am going to throw a tablespoon of flour in and dust it around the pan. And what you want to do is kind of tap the pan around and then dump out whatever excess flour is in there. So we need 1 3/4 cups of buttermilk for this recipe, and since I don't often buy it, I like to just make it myself. So I have 1 3/4 cup of milk, and I'm adding 1 1/2 tablespoons of vinegar to that. You could also use lemon juice. And then we're just going to stir that around and set it aside until we're ready. In my bowl here I have 3 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour, and you want to have a little extra on the side, which we'll talk more about later, but I'm adding in 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of salt, and we're just going to mix that together, and then we pour our buttermilk in, and then we are just going to gently fold that together until the dry ingredients are mostly incorporated. This dough will still be very sticky and wet, which is where that extra flour comes in handy. I have a surface lightly floured here, and we are just going to place the dough on top. And what I like to do is sprinkle a little bit more flour on top of the dough itself, and we're just going to knead it together a couple of times until we get a nice ball of dough. And while you're kneading the dough, if it feels like it's still sticking to your hands and to the board, just keep adding a little bit more flour at a time. There are a lot of different factors that go into baking, and depending on how dry or humid it is in your kitchen, you may need more or less flour than others. So for me, 3 1/2 to 4 cups of flour is always just about perfect. Sometimes the 3 1/2 cups is plenty, sometimes I need a little bit more. So I'll show you what we're looking for here. When I press the dough with my finger, it doesn't stick, but it also leaves the indent of my finger in the dough. And that's exactly what we want, not too sticky but perfectly soft. And then we are going to place our dough in our greased pan, and we are going to cut an X in the top. And what that does is it allows the bread to expand without splitting in unexpected spots, so it just kind of keeps it controlled in that top and keeps it pretty. So we are going to bake the bread at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for 35 to 40 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. And then we just want to allow it to cool in the pan for about 10 minutes before we move it to a wire rack. And I love to serve it warm with some nice butter, and it is heavenly. I really hope you enjoyed coming along with me in making Irish soda bread. If you want the sweetened version, I will have that link down below as well. And please be sure to subscribe if you did enjoy it, because next I have a delicious dish that will pair perfectly with this bread. I really appreciate you all watching until the end, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye!